and have a possibility to surf in LTE speed. I think the neat thing is it's right in here. I can show you it's right here from the package. So this is the device itself. You can plug it in any BMW, and it's right on the market right now, so you can buy it right now. And as you can see when the blue light here is on, we have an LTE connection, so it's pretty fast for surfing. And the nice thing is you can use the outside antenna of the car because you're in the middle of a Faraday cage, so the reception normally is not really good. And based on the outside antenna, we have really good cell phone reception that gives you a lot of coverage and internet speed access. Another nice feature I think I like to talk about is, so hooking up your device to this hotspot, there's 3 different possibilities. Certainly you can punch in the code, or you can just put this button and the WPS mechanism to pair your device, but I think this is pretty well-known mechanics. Another thing is we have an NFC reader in here, so if your mobile device is capable of making NFC, you just touch it and you have an NFC established connection for the Wi-Fi, which I think is pretty neat, so it's pretty convenient to do it like this. Yeah, cool.
And you can pop it out and carry it with you. I have this, and basically, just use this as a Wi-Fi or mobile hotspot whenever.
Exactly. It's a battery in there and an antenna as well, and there is actually a standard USB plug you can use to charge it, and you can take it to your hotel room or home, or whatever you want to do with it. So I think it's pretty neat. Yeah.
So we actually have a tablet here that is queued up. So. Basically, I've got TechCrunch. It's connected. You can see it's connected to the Wi-Fi, not a 4G or LTE connection. Just gonna log in, and there we are. I can actually see myself in a minute streaming from this car, which is pretty cool. But that's not the only thing you've got here. You also have a whole bunch of apps that are already built into the car, right? You rolled this out a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So it's with our, if you just go here to our main menu and you go to Connect Drive, you see here is BMW apps, and this is actually a pretty powerful platform we introduced already 2 years ago. And you can see in here, here's my mobile phone. It's just a standard mobile phone, and I just hooked it up through the cable to the car. And actually the application itself, it's running on the car, and you're only using the screen. So the HMI is rendered here. The application just communicates with our head unit, and you can do a couple of neat use cases. There's just a couple of examples for them. It's like you see, there's news, a Facebook, Twitter client, Eco Pro Analyzer, which actually analyzes your driving style and gives you a hint how to drive more efficient. So it's an application we built by ourselves. You can access to your calendar, to Wikipedia if you want to. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing is, if you start playing around with things like this, so certainly talking about a Facebook integration, you can ask, does it make sense or not? Do you really need to use Facebook in the car or not? Actually, I don't want to answer this question, but the funny thing is, it's what's on your mind here. And the neat use case, it's really like, I'm sitting in the car, I can use the data from the car. It says it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit outside and I'm driving around in Las Vegas. So these are canned messages, which I actually can generate from the information I have from the car and can then post them just on Facebook. So it gives you a little bit of the idea what you actually can do with this kind of technology. You can use the sensor data of the car, your GPS location, and can mix it up and can make some interesting use cases out of it. So now I'm just posting it to Facebook. So if you're following me on Facebook, you can see I'm driving around in Las Vegas right now.
Okay. Driving around live streaming from from a car on TechCrunch TV.
And you can compose these messages on your phone before you drive, and then you have certain messages you can use here. And I think that's just an interesting example. But really, if you talk about the Eco Pro Analyzer, I think that's really a basic car functionality which gives you hints about the way you're driving and how to drive more efficient. And at the moment, this car, it was sold to a customer and was produced. There was no application like this. And through the ecosystem of iTunes, we can provide new features to our customers at any point in time just by downloading it to the device, which I think is pretty neat and a kind of unique, so to speak.
Okay, that's cool. So how long have these apps been available, and how many third-party developers do you have working on it, or is it mainly just you're building these apps yourself?
No, I think we only kicked off this framework to give third parties a possibility to get access to it. So Pandora is, for example, running in this environment. We have for a European music service, Aupeo, for example. We just recently realized Stitcher, which is pretty well known, I think, as well. So there's a couple of third parties we're actually partnering with, and in the Pandora use case or Mark use case, you just use your standard application, you're listening to music while you're walking around, you come to your car, you plug in your device, and you can get access to your favorite music stations through Pandora or whatever you like. So it's basically answering the question a lot of customers ask. I have this awesome application on my phone, why can't I use it in my car? And so we are actually offering you the possibility to use it in a meaningful way. Certainly, we take specific care of the aspect of driver distraction. So, for example, the Pandora example, as you know, in the Pandora application, you get a lot of information about the artists. We do not offer this functionality in the car because we don't think it makes sense to read long text while driving out. So this is a good example of like giving only the good use cases while you're driving.
Speaking of driver, distraction, I think we're going to turn up here.
I'm pretty engaged in this topic, as you can see.
So right now we're in a BMW 7 Series. We are on our way to Eureka Park, the convention center. We're going to check out sort of all the startups that are on display there. In the meantime, just sort of getting a ride and learning more about all the fun apps that we can do. If you want to reach out to us, you can do so by using hashtag CESCrunch. In the meantime, I just want to connect and see what else I can do with this. I can probably just check Twitter and do whatever, right? And it's just connected.